Here are a few simple ways I save money in my late 20s. I know it's been like a couple months since I posted my last video, but hi guys, I'm here. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome, hello, my name's Camila and I'm a content creator. I do it full time. I do some social media influencing and also UGC content. I've been doing it for the last year and a half working for myself, and it has been an amazing experience filled with so many opportunities. With that said, there is no doubt in today's world it is so difficult to make and save money. Everything just seems so expensive. Real estate in my area and in many places around the world are extremely expensive. My partner and I could afford technically to buy a home, but it just doesn't feel right now. It doesn't make sense. We also don't want to be house poor and basically spend all of our money on our home when we could be living our lives and enjoying our 20s and investing in other areas that just make more sense. We also don't know where we would even want to buy. We're Canadians, we're in the Toronto area, and we don't know if we even want to buy in Canada to begin with. That's a little context on us. And right now I'm living at my dad's house. I've moved out once or twice or even 3 times in the past, and I'm back here. Last year, my fiance and I were renting a condo in Toronto, and we felt like our lease was just way too expensive for what we were paying, and we ended that. And ever since we did that last fall, we've kind of been either at his parents' house or at my parents' house. It's not ideal, but at the end of the day, we know how much money we're saving by doing this, and we're making it work. Realistically, we are saving anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 a year by staying with parents. We do have plans to move out in the spring because we really don't want to extend our stay here. Though we are welcome, we also want to live our lives. But even having 1 year or 1.5 years with parents truly does help a lot, especially considering how much we've been paying in rent in the last few years. So my first way of saving money in my late 20s is, of course, living with parents. And I know not everybody can do this. I have a bunch of friends who never were even given this opportunity. So I know how lucky I am, and I'm super grateful to have this opportunity. But even for somebody like me who is lucky to have the opportunity, once again, it's not ideal. It's not what I would really choose. I want my own space. So it does still come with a bunch of sacrifice. The second way that I save money in my late 20s is staying with family and friends when I travel. If you follow me on socials at all, I will link them down below. I actually travel quite often, and this is because I have family and friends in different parts of the world. For example, my sister does live in Florida. She just had a baby, so in the last year I've gone down to Florida like 5 times, which is kind of like almost every other month, so it seems like I'm always down there. But I am not paying for any accommodation, and the flights are pretty cheap to go there. Another example is my fiance's family has a vacation home in Mexico, and we will go there and we won't have to pay any accommodation again. I have a friend who lives in Europe in the Netherlands, so if I wanted to go there, I could stay a few days with her. Honestly, it saves you so much money at the end of the day, staying with friends and family and just fitting that into your travel plans. Once again, it's not completely ideal, and it's not like you want to be couch surfing or like hopping between everybody's homes. Like, their homes are not Airbnb places or hotels, but often when it is family, they're happy to have you. So it's been a great way in the last few years to save money, but still get in travel time throughout the year. And of course, make sure you're always helping out around their homes, pitching in for groceries, keeping a tidy room, and helping to keep the house clean. And most of the time, they really enjoy having you in their home. Another way that I save money in my late 20s is buying used stuff. So I used to never really be into like thrifting, but recently I have gone to a few different thrift shops and actually found some really awesome pieces. It is kind of crazy what people do give away. Of course, thrifting is time consuming, so you do have to dedicate some time, and a lot of the time you won't find the things you want at the first, second, or third thrift shop. You'll have to go to several, but I love finding nice pieces for such a discounted price. It is pretty insane. It happened to me in the last few months. I've collected a few different thrifted items that I use on a daily or weekly basis. So I do want to have more thrifting in my life. For example, I need a new pair of jeans, and jeans are so expensive nowadays. Like, it's insane how a pair of jeans will cost you $150 to $200. I'm gonna go to the thrift shop and try to find a nice pair of vintage jeans that hopefully fit me nice, because I just cannot wrap my head around paying that much for a pair of jeans unless I am just diehard obsessed with them. Once I am out of my dad's house and we're back into decorating our own space, I do plan on doing way more thrifting than I did in the past. In our last condo, I bought a lot of things from like HomeSense or like Marshalls or Winners. And this time around, I'm really looking forward to finding some really cute vintage pieces for our home instead of just finding generic artwork or decor, which is more expensive and often has less character than something you would find at the thrift store. So thrifting is in for me in 2025 and probably for the next several years to my entire lifetime. Another way I save money in my late 20s, and I know this one is not going to apply to everybody, but I do influencing on the side, mostly on Instagram, and I do receive a lot of free items, which I actually use a lot of these items. So for example, I was just gifted these 2 new pairs of shoes. They are from this brand, and I've been seeing a lot of influencers work with them. So I accepted it because I do accept a lot of like shoes and clothing collabs, even though they are gifted and not paid. But come on, they're like so cute. I love these little runners too. And this brand is really big on comfort. Like, these are actually comfy shoes. There is a tiny bit of a smell to them, you know, like a China factory smell or something, like, but they are super cute. And just to get my point kind of in, like, I use a lot of the free stuff that is sent to me, and it's a great way to save money. So if you're interested in becoming an influencer, it's not too late. A lot of people are just getting started, and you don't need to be a big account to receive free PR. Another way I save money in my late 20s, and this is going to apply to anybody with a dog, if you're feeding your dog like real food instead of kibble. We feed our dogs kibble, like we'll have it always kind of on the floor, but we do prepare home cooked meals for them, and they eat twice a day. For the last couple of years, my partner and I were always buying like lean ground beef from the grocery store, and it would cost around like $10 a pack every single time, and we would probably need to buy the meat like every week or every week and a half. And honestly, that added up. Buying food for your dogs is not cheap, especially if you have big dogs who eat a lot more. We were definitely spending anywhere from $50 to $100 in dog food per month. So my fiance came up with this idea, and it is honestly perfect. We went to our local butcher shop, and we actually bought these frozen cubes of their like beef organs or something. I need to ask him, I kind of forget. And we've taken a few cubes out, like we've already cooked a bunch of dog food, but this entire bag costed us $15. It's because nobody really wants to buy this, but it's great for dog food. So that entire bag cost us $15, and that is going to last us a very long time. Like, I want to say 2 months. I'm really not sure since it's our first bag, but that brings our cost for dog food down so much. So we'll pop 1 or 2 cubes in our pressure cooker, add in a potato and some vegetables, cook that up, and it creates the perfect balanced diet for our dogs. And they're getting a ton of nutrients also in these organs compared to just eating lean ground beef. So just thinking outside the box, I love this idea. It's already saved us a lot of money. I'm also really big on juicing. I kind of got started just in 2025. I bought my first juicer in December of last year, and I basically juice every single week or every other week. It is time consuming, so sometimes I do skip it, but I have a whole set of ginger shots in the fridge and like juices in there. Every single time I juice, I always save the scraps because of course the juicer is just gonna squeeze out the juice, but there's going to be a lot of stuff left over. So for example, this is a mix of shredded carrot, there's kale, celery, and sometimes like in the fridge I have shredded apple. Anything that I juice that I can put in dog food, I will. For example, in my pressure cooker when I'm making dog food, I'll put in 1 or 2 of those blocks of beef organs, and then I will throw in a potato, and then this is going to be the vegetable that gets thrown in. So a mix of like carrot and all that stuff for the dogs, and they absolutely love it. I don't like to waste food. Juicing does waste a lot, but I typically never throw it out unless it is like stuff that my dogs can't really consume. Another way I save money in my late 20s is by consolidating subscriptions with my partner. We recently just did this, so we switched to a family Apple Music plan. Even though I was with Spotify for like 10 years, we recently just switched over to that, and we're only saving like $5 or $10 a month doing that, but it's still money that you're saving. We also did that with our Apple storage or like iPhone storage. I was paying like X amount for X amount of storage, and so was he, and we both were not utilizing our storage space. So we combined that, and I canceled my Apple or iPhone subscription storage data thing. I'm not good at explaining like tech Apple stuff, I guess. Well, once again, I'm only saving like $5 to $10 a month, but per year, we're saving like $100 to $200 just by making a really easy switch. I think in general, adopting a minimalism mindset is going to help you always save money. You do not always need the newest or fanciest items. That is not going to make you happy. I do have a rule: if there's something that I really want, and if I continue to want it for weeks to months, and I'm still thinking about that item, I will often go ahead and get myself that, because come on, it's been weeks or months, you clearly want it. But if there's ever something that I want kind of on the spot and it is a little pricey, I will wait and see how long I think about that item, like genuinely. Otherwise, I won't buy it. So honestly, that was just a couple ways that we've been saving money in our late 20s. Everything is, once again, so expensive out there. So every dollar, every penny kind of counts type thing. That's at least my mindset. There are a lot of different ways that I make money, and it's not just from content creation and influencing. So if you guys are interested in an alternative video on ways that I make money, I am happy to make that. At the end of the day, I think we're all just chasing financial freedom and freedom to live comfortably. So I think just having a few easy habits is really going to help us all get there. And I know not all of these ways are going to apply to everyone. Like if you don't have dogs or if you're not an influencer, totally understand. But I just wanted to share my own personal experience, and maybe some of them can apply to you too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support my channel. If you're still watching, I appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one.